the best, most efficient way to simplify your life. And it's actually what I'm sharing today is advice that I've been given, which was literally the worst advice that anyone could have possibly given me at the particular time in my journey. And I'm sharing this today with you and actually opening up to why it's the best advice, because it's really so simple yet so complicated to the mind, because it's something that we have forgotten, something that we have been taught out of. And I want to shine light on that today so that you can use this to transform your life. What I want to share with you today is the worst advice that I've ever been given, because when I was given this advice, I was not ready to hear it. Not only was I not ready to hear it, I didn't have the ability to hear it. And I'm going to tell you what that was in a minute and why it's so transformational, and why when you actually tune into it, it does absolutely 100% simplify your life. And it is the best advice. It is the best and the worst advice if you're not ready for it. So I was at the place in my journey where, you can't understand how good it is until you experience it. I was in the place before my whole spiritual awakening, that whole shift that I had, that was just like, and it's there without me ever seeking anything really. When I would hear the word meditation, I would just be like, that's really hippie, I don't know. Or when I remember hearing Eckhart Tolle talk about presence and how the mind is your biggest enemy and how it's limiting you, I remember listening to that, and that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I remember thinking, how does this person have anyone listening to him? My mind is my greatest asset. My mind is what got me to where I am. My mind is what solves all the problems that I have. How can that possibly be a limitation? How can that possibly be my greatest enemy? It's my greatest ally and asset. And then I had the shift in which I went from my masculine, and it was the shadow masculine. It was really that ego of, what is the end result? What is the bottom line? What did we achieve? What did we accomplish? And the reason, actually, to give you a little bit of a backstory, the reason that stepped in my life so much was because emotions weren't safe. I remember a distinct moment, and that's actually, I remember when I was around 13, time shifted, like time began to feel different. And it was at the exact same time when I just shut down the La La Land flow, the creativity, just this wonder and curiosity. I shifted completely. I became a straight A student, which was wonderful. I started accomplishing. I started being really goal-oriented. And I also shut down my emotions. I deemed them as unnecessary. I deem it as vulnerability, and it doesn't really get me anywhere, so why do I need it? And the advice that I'm wanting to share with you today, the advice that I was given, I remember when I first of all, it was just in so many books and so many teachings, but also when I was working with my teachers. And the advice that I was given was, just feel it and you'll know. Which was so frustrating to me. Feel what? I have spent years not feeling. I have spent years thinking my way through. I have spent years, even when I was going through severe depression. What got me to my spiritual awakening, where just like my mind basically just cracked open, was CBT. It was poking at my brain. That was cognitive behavioral therapy, really questioning your mind. It doesn't make sense. So it's attacking the mind with questions, with the mind, with the analytical thinking, with the logic. So I went to my teachers, my spiritual teachers, with this, well, all feelings are thoughts. So if I want to feel something, I just think something, and that's it, and I'm done. I'm golden. And they're looking at me like, okay, sure, that's one way to go. That's not really what we're going for here. That's not what we're teaching. And I just couldn't understand. I couldn't understand what it was like to feel something in my body in regards to, in any situation, in any given moment, you have all the answers within you. And you can feel that. How does this feel in my body? How does this person feel? How does this situation feel? How does this question feel? And what is the solution? And really learning to tune into that, learning to feel and utilize that inner knowing that's just in you. It's like breathing, it's the most natural thing. But to me at that time, it was the worst advice because I had no idea how to do it. So even if somebody told me, well, what does it feel like? Like, I can explain in a really limited way, but it doesn't, like if I were compared to where I am now to where I was before, it just doesn't translate because I didn't have the color palette to explain any of that. I couldn't use all those colors because I didn't know that they existed. And after that, even though after my spiritual experience, I was still very much in my masculine, and the masculine mind, and the how do we explain it? It's kind of like translating this beautiful experience into words, into something tangible, which really can't be done. And a few months ago, I had one of my teachers named my awakening to my feminine, which what I described to somebody was as that cartoon Pocahontas. So there was a song, Colors of the Wind, because it was really that. It was that as if you have, that Englishman and coming to the Native Americans, and just them having this completely different culture. And it's like they're speaking completely different languages. They have completely different understanding of life. So you have this Englishman that's there, well, I want the gold, or what is this land worth? What can you do with it? And the natives are there just completely not understanding that. Like, what do you mean? You are the land and the land is you. Every single plant, every rock, every animal, everything is a spirit, and it has a name, and it has a soul, and you interact with it, and it's you are it, and it is you. It's this whole dance of energies. How can you not see that? What do you mean? What is the earth worth? That makes no sense. And in that song, Pocahontas describes the colors of the wind. Can you paint with the colors of the wind? And that is the gift of the feminine. That is the gift of life flowing through you. And that is something that the masculine energy can't comprehend. It's too much. It's overwhelming. And it doesn't understand because it's blind to it. It's like it's just color blind to this amazingness and variety and vastness that the feminine can experience. So those feelings and those emotions that I shut down, I also shut down my ability to paint with the colors of the wind, to see the colors of the wind, to experience them. And it is that aspect that is actually there guiding you. And why is this important? So whether you're a man or a woman, it's just as important for both. And I don't want to emphasize like men or women. I say this in so many of my videos. Around 80% of men are their core masculine, and about the same numbers for women in regards to the core feminine, but that's not the rule. So learning which one you are, first of all, and if you are core feminine, I'm not saying the purpose or sense of direction, the go is not important. It absolutely is, but it shouldn't be more than 30%, maybe 20% of your life. Can you surrender and connect to that colors of the wind experience, that trust, that receptivity to life, receptivity to all that is around you? Because you're not going to be at home, you're not going to be at peace until you experience that. And if you're there that are core masculine and you're like, well, I don't need this, what use is that to me? You cannot be a balanced masculine. You cannot achieve that which you want if you do not have that feminine guidance, that inspiration, motivation, that creativity. Because it's like the feminine says, well, I would like that, and the masculine creates. But if you do not tune into that heart's calling, what is it that's calling to me? You're going to be dependent, like your productivity is going to be dependent on what does the world want me to create? Because you don't know that within you. What does the world expect of me? And it's going to be in the state of burnout if you're not connected to that feminine energy within you. That spirit that is in all, that energy that's moving, that's in absolutely everything, that's in the rock and the plant and the waters and the air. So the importance of connecting to that and learning how to feel it. And again, I understand how frustrating this can be to somebody who's never done it, because I was in that place of just, I don't understand what you want me to feel. And going from that to oh my God, absolutely every single problem comes with a solution right there and then. If you're able to manifest a problem, you're able to manifest several solutions. And it's just about feeling into it, and you know. And life becomes so much easier when you tune into that part of you, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're core masculine, core feminine. It's that power of flow and feel and receptivity of life, because we're so used to going into giving and into like go go go, what am I creating, what am I producing, right? And we're there closed off to what does life have to offer me, and that it's safe for me to receive. It's safe for me to receive that guidance, that direction, that inspiration, that knowing. So now, and this is something that you want to go deeper into. Is this something you want to learn, to connect to your essence, to connect to that power within you, that you can just feel what is the next step, so you can take that step, not from wondering, not from trying to predict the circumstances or what the future will be based on your past memories, which aren't real anymore, creating those future projections when aren't real yet or may never be, because actually statistically 80% of the things that we think about never actually happen, the things that we worry about. So if you're tired of living in the past and in the future and are ready to create the best life that you possibly can right now, because that's where the creation happens, it's right now. Learning how to connect to that, learning how to move with the flow of life instead of paddling upstream, hoping that what you want is up there, which it isn't. And that's what most people are doing. So if you're ready to connect to that, DM me. I am opening a few spots for my 3-month self-mastery container, which will be basically from September until the end of the year. So if you're ready to transform your life and break free from these limitations and live your most powerful, authentic life, you let me know. And on this note, I am wishing you such a powerful day.